Thank you. Wow. So just raise your hands if you're here for the first time. I just want to see you guys. So what do you think of us so far? Pretty fun, huh? Yeah, we're all about fun. We're very irreverent. Dr. Laura is known as the irreverent reverend, and I'm kind of growing into my irreverency. I'm not quite there yet, but it's starting to come. So wow, it's so good, just so good to be in your presence today. Every seat is filled up, and it's just awesome. I love it. So today, of course, is the first Sunday, and we talked about religions. And how many of you know the journey of Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha? Yeah? Some of you do. Well, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but basically, he was raised in royalty. He was raised in a palace, and his parents did their best to keep him sheltered from the real world. And one day, he went on an outing into town, and he saw people suffering, which he hadn't seen before in his sheltered environment. And so Siddhartha thought, I want to find the purpose of life. I want to learn about this suffering. I want to go out there. I want to get enlightened about what life is really about. And so he went on his way, and he became the Buddha after a series of different things, which I'm not going to go into right now. Because what I want to tell you about is I, too, had my own little Siddhartha Gautama experience in my own life. Because, you see, I was raised as a Jewish American princess. You do not know that. And I lived a very sheltered experience in Studio City, California. I had a lot of good, we had plenty of everything. My parents did try to shelter me. I was just really kept in a place where I didn't have to see a lot of stuff, even though, there was a lot of stuff that I learned about because of our history and stuff like that. But my parents didn't want me to have to suffer. But a day came where I was seeing all of the materiality that was showered on me, and it wasn't filling my heart. I just thought, there's got to be more than materialism, because I wasn't feeling fulfilled by stuff. And this was like when I was about 19 years old. Stuff wasn't doing it for me. And so I left my palace at Studio City, California, and I moved to a very beautiful place called Santa Barbara. But I didn't live in a palace. I didn't live in a castle. I chose to live a really simple life, and I just rented this little casita in the back of somebody's house. There was no heater in it. I just wanted to live a simple life because I needed to find the meaning of life, and I needed to find what fulfillment is to me, because it wasn't happening with stuff, with material things. And so this was quite a journey for me to be able to really find myself, and it was a rough journey. Thank God my mom gave me a credit card in case there was an emergency or anything like that. I don't know if Siddhartha had that, but what can I tell you? I needed a crutch. But I really took my time to explore life and to find meaning in it. And what I found inside of myself is that many of us look for fulfillment in all the wrong places. We look for it outside of ourselves, right? We feel empty inside, or we feel like something's missing. And so, of course, it's natural. Look outside. Find the money, find the person, find this, find that. And I'm not, that is a way that we express. But at the heart level, there's a certain fulfillment. I call it spiritual fulfillment. I call it just our soul fulfillment. It's something that's not found outside. It's found within. And the beautiful song that Alicia sang to us today, I Am Enough, everything is within me, that is where the fulfillment is. That is where our soul stuff is. And our soul stuff, I know for many of us, one day it wakes us up out of our trance of being so attached out here and so needing things out here. The soul one day can awaken and say, it's not about the outside world, it's about the inside world. The key to, and this is just what I believe, the key to a rich and fulfilling life is loving yourself unconditionally and allowing your authentic self to be fully expressed. Now, this may seem strange to you because a lot of people think the key to a fulfilling life is really about succeeding in certain things, meeting certain goals, which, yeah, sure, that's fulfilling, but I don't think it's sustainable. I think it has its end and its beginning and its end, but I think there's a greater fulfillment that we have that comes from loving ourselves unconditionally, because there's something unique to all of us. And when we love who we are without saying or defining that with what you've done in life, and just loving yourself for who you are. And this is Pride Weekend. I forgot about it, but it's Pride Weekend, and we celebrate who we are as unique individuals. Without judging ourselves, without having to feel badly, we say, you know what? I'm good as I am, who I am, the way I express in this world. And that's our soul expression. That is our soul expression. And I believe that when we allow that out and we love ourselves unconditionally, that is the key to everything in life. And the nature of the universe is to give us what we're able to take, and we can't take anymore. Ernest Holmes teaches this, that we live in a rich, abundant universe filled with everything we could possibly desire. And to me, what I see is when we love ourselves unconditionally, we let that good in. If we're restricting ourselves and aren't loving ourselves unconditionally and aren't tuned into that authentic self, that good that Ernest Holmes talk about can't make its way into our lives. There's a total connection between self-love and what you experience in life. If we experience lack and limitation, some people might say it's because of your upbringing or because of this. No, I think it's about your belief. What do you believe? And a lot of us learn to believe in lack and limitation. I can't have that. And that is about self-love or lack of self-love. So my talk title is You Can Have It All. And you can have it all by believing you are all, that you are all of it. And I know that can be a really sticky thing. You know, I read these things with you with Ernest Holmes, where he says you can have it all, and the universe is abundant, and it showers you with stuff. And there can be this total, cognitive dissonance where you're going, really? I'm not experiencing it. There's like a chasm of belief that needs to be traversed so we can really understand how we can have it all. And I know I'm with you, with a lot of you, in not believing that's possible. I've come a long way since I've entered into this center. I used to have a huge lack consciousness. I only thought I could have so much. And this philosophy broke all of that apart. And it took time for me to get really into it. And I still have a ways to go. But when we start learning who we are, that we live in a universe that showers us with everything we desire, when we realize we're standing in the way, we know where our work is. Stop standing in the way. You know, Ernest says we see abundance in the universe. It's everywhere, right? In the grains of sand, as he says, on a single beach. And the earth contains untold riches. And the very air is vibrant with power. Do you realize how just showered with energy we all are? Yet we can know that and not feel it inside of ourselves because we are living in lack, and I can't have, and I'm not enough. But it is right there. When we dissolve that through self-love, when we dissolve that by knowing how awesome and special we all are, we can really feel that and bring it in. Ernest says, why is man weak, poor, and afraid when we're in this world, in this universe that's so vibrant and power? And man is weak, poor, and afraid because we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe that we are these amazing divine soul energies that are totally in tune with this channel of good, whether it's financial, health, wealth. It doesn't matter because good is good. Good is good. And it's whatever that means to you. And so when we love ourselves, we're expansive. We're saying, yes, come on, world, come on, good, come into my life. And when we believe that, we're not weak, poor, and afraid anymore because we know that we are this allness of life that continually pours its energy into us. You know, I love to know where things began. I am a teacher at heart, and I like to find where things started. And Reverend David brought to my attention this wonderful video by Gabor Mate, who's one of my favorites. He's really into trauma healing, and he's doing some breakthrough work in our world today because I believe that trauma is the problem. It's not the people, it's the trauma and their reaction to it in their own lives. But he says that in childhood, we repressed our authenticity because it caused love to be withheld from us. Now, doesn't that make sense, right? And our parents and our teachers, they weren't trying to hurt us. They were trying to make it so we could live in this world and do okay. They didn't want us to not be able to survive. So they taught us things, and they unfortunately caused us to make an assumption about ourselves that we're not good enough when we allow ourselves to be who we are. You know, you see children going crazy, having fun, and you see a kid starting to run across the street. Of course, you have to say, stop, get over here, right? And so that child, yes, it's stopping, but you know what's going on in its mind? It's saying, there's something wrong with me because my mom just yelled at me, she's withholding love, and I've just made an assumption about myself that there's something not okay about the way I am. Can you see how this happens in your own life? I see it happen in my life in so many different ways. And so this is where the belief starts, and we don't want to blame our parents or anybody because it just is something that happens. But when we can understand that the authentic nature is meant to be fully and completely expressed, and we can undo all of that learning that our authentic is not good, and that our authentic will provide us with love, because the love is going to start from coming from within. When we love ourselves and are authentic, guess what? Other people love you because you're putting out the love. So this is a whole energy recalibration that we're going through right now. Many of us, at least. If you are so in love with yourself, you're walking on water, you're good to go, then my talk may not land with you because you're already there. But really, this is really about recalibrating and restoring our inner wholeness. And how do we do that? You know, I would love to sit up here and, you know, I love to say do meditation, prayer, affirmations, come to class, come to service, do all this great stuff. Yes, please do that. Please do that, because it reinforces the teaching. It reinforces and gives you this energy and this support in letting go of all those old beliefs that kept you not allowing yourself out of the box. But I'm going to make it really simple today. It's about love. That's what to do. Go to love. And I know sometimes it's not that easy. I know, I'm right there. I'm not going to stand up here and preach to you and say it's that easy or done. Just this week, I had an experience with lack of self-love. I know you see me standing up here and you're like, oh, she's all that and she must love herself. Not all the time. Not all the time. And this week I bumped into that. Have you guys heard of adulting, this word adulting? Yeah, it's such a funny word. It's, I don't know, it's either a millennial word or a Gen X, I don't know. But adulting is doing the things that adults do, right? Being responsible, paying bills, that kind of stuff. And something I'm going through in my life is really growing into a new leadership role and the adulting that comes with that. And this week, the adulting was really getting to me, and I was starting to not like myself, and I was like, I don't recognize who I am, and I feel so burdened with responsibilities and needing to do things, and I just kind of fell out of alignment with my heart. And so what I always do when I need to know an answer, I say, universe, what do I need to know that's going to pull me back into a space of love? And it told me, you've been ignoring your inner child. And I know a lot of you think inner child work is so like 1990s, but I'm telling you, it is so relevant and it is so good, and this is why I believe this. There are different aspects to ourselves, right? We've got all these different parts to ourselves, and one of them is the inner child. And a lot of us through our life have disowned it because of the pain of childhood, or we may have a concept of inner child as being something immature. But I'm going to tell you, that inner child energy is so vitally important for us to be happy in this world, because the inner child is about awe and wonder. The inner child is about taking life a little lighter. The inner child is about play. And I was totally disconnected from that. And so when I got that word from the universe, I said yes. And so I did my little inner child thing that I do, journaled, did my thing. Boy, I felt so much better because I was integrating a part of myself that I need to carry with me because it allows me to be lighter. It allows me to have more fun. It allows that creative energy to come through me because I'm open and receptive, because that's what children are. They're open and receptive, right? And I'm not going back in time and becoming immature unless Dr. Laura wants to say that I did that last week. No, it's not about immaturity. It is about finding this energy that is still alive inside of ourselves and bring it into our world, bring it into our consciousness, bring it into our awareness, because it really is such an amazing essence of being that allows life to be extraordinary. So that's how I found love. I found love because that little child inside of me loves to be loved because it wasn't really experiencing that when she was younger. So I get to reparent myself. I get to find the love again, and I get to be standing in my life happy, healthy, and whole. And because of that, because inside of me is whole, because inside of me is expansive, my outer world is expansive. And I don't need my outer world to reflect anymore what I need on the inside, because when I come from the inside out, the outer just takes care of itself. Because I believe that, as I talked earlier, that Ernest Holmes says that the universe always supplies us with everything we need. So if I'm in a place where I feel really good about myself and I'm loving who I am authentically, I am in perfect alignment with the flowing energy of spirit to come into my life as health, wealth, joy, peace, friendships, creativity. That's really how it works. And yes, we can do our affirmations about money, about this, about that, but if inside here is feeling less than, not going to happen on the outside. We got to feel enough on the inside. So that's why we got to start with self-love and self-gratitude. And November really, right, it's the month of gratitude, of Thanksgiving. And I wanted to start the first Sunday of the month with Thanksgiving for you. Thanksgiving for yourself. Thanksgiving with who you are. Thanksgiving for what you've done in your life. Thanksgiving for still being here and doing you as you do you. Thanksgiving for being the remarkable being that only you are. Thanksgiving starts with us on the inside, because then we're filled up. We're fulfilled. When you are fulfilled, when your heart is fulfilled, where you love you because you're who you are, that can't help but radiate out into the world. And boy, does it feel good to love you, doesn't it? Yeah. I love you. You love you too. Let's love each other and have a love fest. You know, there are people who have come up to me and said, why aren't you guys talking about all the shootings that are happening in the world and this and that that's happening in the world? And the only thing I can say about that is I think those things are happening in the world because people don't love themselves. If people loved themselves, they wouldn't hurt other people. To me, that's what it's about. And so, yes, I am talking about that right now because it's about self-love. And so our work to do to change our own lives, to change the world if that's what you want to do, is to love yourself. Because when we love ourselves, we're showing others how to love themselves. And we're creating a big, gigantic energy of love that I think spreads into the world and has an effect. It has an effect. Don't ever underestimate your effect of your consciousness and your heart energy. It does go everywhere. So the purpose of all the major religious traditions is not to construct big temples on the outside, but to create temples of goodness and compassion inside, in our hearts. And this is from the Dalai Lama. I mean, this is what a lot of these religions are teaching us to do, is to find the temple that we are. We are all temples, and to be a temple of goodness and love and joy. And if we like the temple that we're in, and I just mean the temple, the essence that you are. The essence that you are. If you love that, you are a temple for the whole world to see as this emanation of God that you are. Of God that you all are. And so it behooves us to clean up the inner temple, to do whatever we need to do to find the self-love. And I know it can be a journey, but it just takes the willingness. It takes the openness. It takes the receptivity to find the love. Because you know what? That love is looking for you too. That love is contagious. That love is expansive. That love is spirit, and that love is all of us. And so when we say yes to the love, don't need to figure it out in my head, I'm ready to expand into love, that love comes. And if you need to just find the love by saying, I'm grateful, I'm who I am, that gratitude energy expands. All you have to do once a day is say, I am grateful, I'm who I am, and the doors are going to open to you, because that gratitude energy builds, it expands, and that's the great thing about November, because we're all in this energy of gratitude. So we're all expanding our hearts. We're all looking for the good in the present moment. And so you can have it all. You can have it all by being yourself. You can create prosperity in your life by being yourself and loving yourself. You can create health by loving yourself and being yourself. You can create friendships and bonds that fulfill your life by being yourself and loving yourself and honoring yourself, and be that temple of love and goodness and compassion and beauty and grace that you all are. That is having it all, and you are it. Thank you. Thank you.